I'm here.
What were you doing? Tell me everything.
No, I forgot. I just got back from seeing Avatar 2 like an hour ago.
Good.
So I've been distracted.
Wait. I would guess that, I know it sucks, but I would guess Dove, who is like a hipster, might say that it's good. What do you think?
No, it is good. It's a really good movie.
I knew it.
It's James Cameron. James Cameron has never made a bad movie.
Yeah, I've heard though that even on those terms, but I don't know, what the fuck do I know? I should go see it. To me, it's just very long. That's my only concern.
Yeah, that's why I saw it early in the day today. 3 hours.
Not early enough to keep the the podcast is still good though. I actually believe that I'm a very strict spoiler constructionist. Basically, I think that the goal when you watch a movie should be to experience it as if you have, as if you're just like flipping the channel. It just came on and you don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, you should not know anything about it. You should not know the genre. You should not know. Of course, you should not see the trailer. And I actually now believe that even the first 15 minutes of a movie can be considered a spoiler, because in those first 15 minutes, they are basically just giving you boring, like, here we are, it's a movie kind of stuff. It's not actually really yet within the reality of the movie. It's not real. It's not the characters behaving in an actually real way. So I believe the best way to do it is you show up 15 minutes late, and then you don't know. You don't know who the main character is then, even. But if you see the first 15 minutes, it's just like Hollywood BS, basically. So is that accurate? Was the first 15 minutes good, or is just like gruel?
All good. 3 hours, never a dull moment.
No gruel.
Yeah, it's a gruel-less film. 3 hours, but it's used very well. It's much better than the first Avatar. I'm a James Cameron shill, and I think you should go see Avatar.
As in 3D?
Hey, how do we boost this space? There's nothing in the nest. Let me
nest it up. While you do it, I will welcome everyone to the Capsule 21 podcast solemn year review episode. If you have watched the Capsule 21 podcast taping before, you know what we're about, but what you don't know is this is the first ever and much awaited and talked about year review episode, an episode where we only review the year, and that is excluding the current podcast. So we will be reviewing everything except this podcast. I know this is the question I always get asked, and it's final. My decision is final. This podcast will not be part of the year in review. We'll be talking about very specific questions, and you are not allowed to say anything that has just happened in this podcast. We are outside of time right now. Capsule 21 podcast is a podcast about art, technology, and the nexus there, especially taking into account the idea of timeless art and the nexus of that in the blockchain. Capsule 21 is an art collective consisting of 3 dudes at this stage, me, Middlemarch, and my co-hosts Piv and Dovetail. Capsule 21 podcast is taped in front of a live studio audience in a Twitter Spaces. You can join us and ask a question. We are doing 100 episodes, and that will put us in the top echelon of podcasts, and we will be able to write a tweet about that saying how few podcasts get into the 100 episode club and how you should try to do that. Welcome. Hello, everyone. So, Dov, did you nest it? The nest, by the way, for people not on Twitter Spaces, is the little thing above the thing that says, okay, so there's a tweet. You put a tweet in there.
Yeah, do it up. If you're in here right now, give it a retweet, a like.
We got Gato.
Let's boost the space. Let's get an emoji. Let's get a heart going. Hey, guys, can we get a heart going right now? I need hearts in chat. I'm feeling lonely. I need some hearts.
Yeah, this is the tension because, by the way, studio and people listening to this on the podcast, it's from a podcast standpoint, you want to go immediately, right? Just like Avatar. Like, if you watch the movie Avatar, they don't spend a lot of time waiting for the thing to fill up or whatever. Like, they just start. But when you're doing a Twitter space, that format is very much geared upon like the concept of like people being there, so you can like talk to people. And so for Twitter Spaces, you typically wait a little bit for it to get going. And so this is the tension that we are experiencing right now, where we are in perfect podcast time. but not such good Twitter Spaces time. And so what do we do? Because I already introduced the show, Dove.
What do you want to talk about? I have a lot to talk about. I've got things going on. Relevancy year in review. Are we waiting until there's more people to start the review?
To start the questions, the 4 questions.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, these are 4 questions, just to tease everyone. These are 4 questions.
Do you want some filler conversation?
Well, I'm doing that by like teasing it. Like Avatar didn't do a lot of that. They just did the action. But I'm going to tease this because I'm not James, Cameron. I don't have that type of money. I have to just. There are 4 questions. So basically, these questions were put to me by my executive coach, who is a really smart and great person who helped me a lot when I was the CEO of Genius, which was like a lyrics company, a music company that I sold, and now I'm not the CEO of anything. I'm the CEO of like, partying down with y'all or whatever, but I still work with her because she's great. And so she suggested these questions as the crucial year in review questions. So I paid a lot of money for these questions, and you all get them for free. And they are: 1, answer the question, what is everything that you are good at and enjoy doing? 2, what is everything that you are not great at? 3, what are your hard learnings from this year? And 4, what are the biggest challenges you faced this year? Those are the official questions of the spaces. So if anyone talks, and by the way, Dub, you've already done it. Piv did it. I think he's disconnected. Anyone who talks has to answer those questions, or at least do some type of meme in that vein. So that's kind of the what makes this a special podcast. Basically, there's and you're not allowed to talk about this podcast. This reminds me of an old joke, filler content. There is a man, and he finds the genie, and the genie says, you have 3 wishes. And the man says, okay, for my first wish, I wish for there to be no more lawyers, right? No more lawyers. Okay, done. And then the genie says, okay, bye. And the man says, what do you mean? What about my other 2 wishes? And the genie says, sue me. So that is an allegory for why you can't talk about this episode in the thing. But oh no,
there we go.
We got an issue.
Twitter is having technical issues. Like I can't retweet tweets on my phone, and I think people can't join the spaces, or like they're not getting notified of the spaces or something, which is cool. Yeah, Piv shows up as like he's requesting a co-host. But then when I click request, it says he already is one. But I think that he can't speak.
Should I remove him? I'm going to remove him.
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, just
removed. Speaker, you have been deboosted. I know. Yoke has already suggested I remove him, and I declined, but now I'm doing it.
Now I've accepted his request. So now let's see if it works. Elon Musk running Twitter is doing a very good job. Hey, Piv, he's here.
Yes.
Hi. No, don't speak, Piv. You have to be a co-host first. I invite you to be a co-host. We're not taking the second place thing.
Let's hope that it still works then.
Should we do basically the same thing that's already working, or try to do something that's the best thing, but like by a tiny bit? Let's do the best thing and maybe break it. Yeah. Good.
Let's do what works.
Okay, we can stick with the speaker. But then Piv can invite people to speak. But people aren't going to want to speak this episode because we are talking about heavy stuff.
I have good filler conversation. Do you want it? Is this a good time for it?
I have drama. Gruel. This is called gruel. Yes, please feed us some gruel.
I have tea. I have drama. I have tea.
Yes.
Okay. I learned yesterday that there is a man named Derek Savage who is a screenwriter and has made, since 2015, 2 movies under the name Cool Cat and has 8 children's books, all featuring Cool Cat. So he holds the trademark for that name legally, federally. He owns it in the realm of movies, and he also owns it in children's books. So I tagged Brian Fry on this, who's kind of the resident like NFT copyright lawyer, and he didn't respond. But from my understanding of like copyright is that you can't just add an S to a name and have it be like a
No, dude, it's like Scrabble. You ever played Scrabble? You would not be good at Scrabble, by the way.
I am phenomenal at Scrabble.
Because you just add that S. You are morally opposed to it.
Yes, I'm not morally opposed. I'm just saying this is my understanding of trademark law. So anyway, Cool Cats, possibly like would have an issue if they ever wanted to make a Cool Cats movie, which I think is very funny. And also this guy, Derek Savage, he's kind of a weird guy. You can watch like his movie on YouTube. It's really weird. It's like really low budget. It's kind of like Neil Breen or like Tommy Wiseau kind of movie, but it's like a children's. Anyway,
who are those people?
You don't know who Tommy Wiseau is?
Of course I know. I'm saying for our audience, and also I don't know.
Okay, Tommy Wiseau and Neil Breen are two movie directors who just make kind of bad movies, but are like very enthusiastic about it, and they think that their movies are really good.
So it's not
they
camp.
Have like this cult following of people who like enjoy the bad movies. This guy is like that. Derek Savage is like that. But anyway, he's planning on creating Cool Cat NFTs, and I think that is very.
That's great.
That's really funny because what's going to happen. I think he's probably doing it because he's probably really upset at Cool Cats.
I mean,
and his website. Go look at his website in the tweet that I just put in the nest. It's really good. It's like a 1990 website. It's like a GeoCities style thing. It's really funny.
Cool Cat versus Dirty Dog.
Yeah, I think that's good.
Unleashed. That's a funny.
I think it's good tea. Funnily, one person I know in NFTs was following him, who is Claire Silver. So I'm not the first person. Noted AI artist Claire Silver also follows this guy. So clearly I'm not the first one to discover Cool Cat's link.
Does any one of you know Moondog?
Yeah, I know Moondog.
He was like a guy who stood in New York, I think, a lot with Viking, but he was a composer too, I think.
Yeah, they made a movie about him like a couple of years ago.
Yeah. Well, in Belgium there was a band and it was called Moondog Jr. And it was already quite famous and popular, and then they had to change their name when they became really popular.
Oh, because
so they changed it too.
To Zita Swoon.
A different direction.
But they had to change it because of a trademark being held by Moondog, the movie.
I think I don't know why, but I think it was because of the guy. But it's already a couple of years ago. But like they were just Moondog Jr. and it was good for some time, but then they had to change it.
It really is just, there's so few options now. All the good names are taken. Like at some point, right? Like Cool Cat, pretty obvious name. Cute Cat, that's my contribution. If anyone's looking for an untaken name, could go for Cute Cat. Even Apple Computer, right? The Beatles record recording thing was Apple, and so they had to pay them to use that. So the iconic one, you might think, wow, Apple, they were around when you could just pick any name, but they still couldn't pick any name. Like you really had to go back to the Beatles to pick any name you wanted. And so, yeah, I think it's, it's trademark law unleashed is how I think of this. Like the leash.
What's the official Capsule 21 opinion about copyright and trademark law?
Fair use is good. I think it's
that's a safe answer.
It's tough. Just be fair. Use it in a fair way. I think no, that's not what fair use means. I mean, I think it's because even before this, back when I was working more frequently with my executive coach at Genius, we had this whole thing with the lyrics and the copyright on that, and what we were doing, and adding the annotations about what the lyrics mean and what effects that has, and is that transformative, and you have to make a deal. And all of these things are just like so like, ad hoc, at least when I was doing it in that context, like just it's not really in the context of like the law. It's just like some deal that you make or whatever between like some people. And so, yeah, I just think it's a challenging thing because, it fits under the overall umbrella of people with a lot of money can do basically whatever they want, especially if it involves a legal system. So, I think, yeah, you got to do the fair use. You got to keep it fair. That'd be my reading on the situation. But I think we've been pretty good about this.
I think the most interesting thing about this Cool Cat thing is that they're really the same thing. They're both cartoon cats. It's not like one is a jazz band and the other one is a cartoon or, like whatever. It's literally the exact same product without an S. So I I don't know what's going on there, but I find that very funny because Cool Cats, sorry, Cool Cats does own the trademark for Cool Cat S, but they don't own Cool Cat singular.
Oh, so then
but
there is the S.
From my Googling and my reading of some law compendiums, if you have the singular, the plural is also covered in the trademark, right? Because then you would have to file like multiple, you'd have to file it as like an ing, as an es, like whatever. So it's kind of like this common sense thing where if you own the singular, it means you also own the plural.
And the individual tokens are called Cool Cat number 8045 or whatever. So, you do have that issue. But they're, just on an intuitive basis, right? It is a sort of transformative concept to have, there's something different about like, hey, I released the book Cool Cats, and it's like 3 cats hanging out, and that's on the shelf next to your book that's Cool Cat. That seems worse than 999 randomly generated and silously curated NFTs that exist on the Ethereum blockchain. There's something pretty transformational about that. So, I think it's a
yes, I agree.
I like the cats.
But I
should get one of these.
I think Cool Cat. It's reasonable that Cool Cats will at some point want to make a movie or like want to make a book. Like they're trying to get into multimedia and do more things than NFTs. They just hired on someone. Who did they hire? Someone with a lot of experience, kind of similar to Yuga's acquisition of the Blizzard Activision guy. Someone who used to work at Disney, I believe. Cool Cats just hired as CEO. So,
wow, this is great. Did you know Cool Cats has built-in rarity? Did we not know about this?
I knew about that, but it's weird. They're weird like tiers.
This is amazing.
It's not like
exotic _2, and they actually have a Cool Cat whose head, and this is for you, Pip, whose head is a monitor, and on the monitor is depicted the Windows XP background with the Bliss wallpaper. So they made Bliss Punk in Cool Cat form. Damn, these exotic cats are pretty cool. I'm impressed. But yeah, I think if they do a you can imagine like a book or a movie that's about one of these guys, and it's called like, the Cool Cat. Yeah, but Cool Cat is so obvious. Like, has the guy really built a brand around the Cool Cat, or is it just like a name he thought of? You know what I mean? Like, that's my question. Like, is it like
a whole brand?
The Cool Cat?
He's got 2 movies. He's got 8 books. He's got merch. He has coronavirus masks. He has like all sorts of stuff.
But what does it look like in the book? In the book itself, I guess like I'm looking at the covers of the book right now. Yeah, so it's like a pretty recognizable.
Yeah, it's like the orange guy. I mean, he's in all sorts of stuff. They have a fursuit for him in the movies. He's like a guy in a fursuit. It's like a distinct singular character.
Yeah, but then, I mean, this is also to an extent like the podcast thing too. It's like you really get to own it forever after making like a couple of things, 5 things. When was the last time he did it?
Right now, he's still doing it. He's like taping a movie currently.
Yeah. Well, then, that's a pretty interesting situation. So that's great. That's great tea. I mean, is anyone in the audience? Yeah, this is not part of the review, but still, it's good.
I thought that was good tea. I was really surprised that it only got like 1 retweet and 6 likes. I thought I stumbled upon something pretty interesting that's notable for the whole NFT community.
Oh wow! And he tweeted S.
Yes, because like I said, he's planning on making an NFT, and I think he's probably only doing that because he caught wind of Cool Cats and felt slighted and felt like, his copyright was getting infringed on.
Whoa. So this guy, you buried the lead on this, dude. He tweeted S? That's amazing. That's so funny. So, yeah, wow. So it's on, I guess. And he's got 38K followers, and he tweeted S? All right. That's a very funny tweet.
He's got big fans. On YouTube, videos that talk about him have like 2 million views.
All right. All right. Well, I'm down. What do you think?
About what?
What's your stance on the on who should win the S?
Well, I support Derek Savage. I mean, he did it first. He owns the trademark fair and square, registered for it in 2015. And it's his property. Cool Cat, he's very. I'm amazed that he has it, but he does. He's the only person who has Cool Cat registered, and more power to him. That's his thing.
And so, why are Cool Cats themselves so valuable?
That is a question for another day.
116,000 ETH in volume. Incredible. These are the pre-me NFTs. When there's a pre-me NFT, I always like to compare it with the post NFT me, because it's like I heard of Cool Cats before I'd done anything NFTs, and I thought, okay, Cool Cats is just like another one of those things that's like the collections. And then after enough time passes and you launch enough failed collections of your own, you realize, well, there's not just actually the ability for a lot of collections to just like do good because they are just the generative playbook. So something happened with the cats. Why did the cats do better than Capsule 21's very own clickbait? Like, this is the question: is it better?
You should DM Farouk and ask him that question. And you should DM some other influencers as well.
So influencers were involved.
Yeah, specifically the guy whose name starts with an F.
And he, right, I think I saw some video of him celebrating something that was funny, like the floor being high or whatever. So I missed this whole era.
He poured like a gallon of milk all over his head.
Yes, the milk. You know what I'm talking about. I guess you're the one telling me about it. So yeah, the idea being, so I feel like I also, this year, which we're reviewing, does not include that era, right? That video was before this year?
I think so. That or it was like January, but I don't remember exactly when. But it probably was like more like October, November.
And so that is out. The idea of an influencer so explicitly trying to just make the floor go up that they do the milk on their head, the thing, stunt.
Yeah, now
we are past that.
Bury the lead. You really have to bury the lead when you're an influencer who wants to show something, because they really get called out for it now.
Wow. I wish I was around for that other area. So yeah, so this is okay. So this is a good way to look at it. So can we dig up that video, by the way? Do you have access to that, the milk thing?
I think I have it saved on my laptop.
Yeah, we should find a way to get that into the nest, basically, because not to like get too deep in the Cool Cat thing, but just like that video to me is a moment in time that you could look at, and that's like a good it marks time. We should look at that video, I think, when we're reviewing this year, and I also want to find out when it is. If it turns out it's from August of this year, then my whole narrative is violated. But if it really is from December 30th of last year, then it perfectly matches my narrative. So,
I can't find it because Farouk blocked me. But if type in the Twitter search bar just Farouk space WLTC, and I think it'll pop up. But I've been blocked by him because
WLTC?
Yeah, we love the cats, WLTC. But he blocked me because I called him out for being an influencer. I tweeted something kind of like, not even like rude. I just was like, whatever. I made a little comment towards him, and he got a little mad about it.
So we like the cats.
We love the cats. Yeah,
we love the cats.
Not me. That's the phrase. Don't clip me out of context.
So Where's the video? Well, I'm looking at the first result here, which is September 10th, 2021. I'm finally part of the sunglasses squad. We love the cats. Hashtag, fire emoji, shades emoji, and it's a cat with glasses on it. So you're saying this year there would be disclosure on this sort of tweet, but this does seem like very, very funny.
It was really a different time. It was really Wild West.
August 28th, 2021. With CryptoPunks at 122 ETH floor and Bored Apes at 50, the Cool Cats at 3 ETH are the biggest sleeper in all of Avatar projects.
And they would run from 3 ETH to 20 at their all-time high, I believe, somewhere in the 20s.
And yet they're still at 3 ETH right now. That's the craziest thing to me.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, they run, they do all this stuff. It's all just total whatever. And then it's still worth something. That's amazing. That's quite impressive, really. Why wouldn't it go to zero?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just bag holding, But I mean, also the Cool Cats team has a lot of money, so I think people are holding on to this hope that they'll do something with it, and they might. Like I said, they just hired on somebody big. I think a lot of teams are in that phase right now where it's like, okay, like the market is crap, so the floor price is really low, but they made so much money during the bull of last winter a year ago. They made so much money that now they're just trying to figure out, like, okay, what the hell are we supposed to do with $1 million? So you hand a group of 20 somethings $1 million and then tell them you have to make the floor price go up. What do they do?
True.
And I think that's an interesting problem that a lot of communities are having at the moment.
The last time the person we're mentioning tweeted the "We Love the Cats" was May 7th. And
yeah, that's
that was
not a
tweet
shock
about the origin. The last time he earnestly did it was March, straight up, and this is a tweet that only had it, which was March 24th. And then really on January 3rd was the last time there was any content, which was Chad Rookie XBT with the Cool Cats Classy 1 floor sweep. Classy 1 is a rarity tier. That's a lot of milk, $ milk. We love the cats. So maybe the video has been...
No. It's definitely still on Twitter somewhere. I'm just not looking for it the right way.
Well, this is a great hashtag to search. So yeah, I think this is a great starting point, because if you're around this year, you are someone who's like, NFTs, let me tell you, drag a cigarette. You know what I mean? Like last year, it was just pure. I wasn't around, but it was pure. We could, we love the cats, like pump. Everything's going up, and also there's just no rules. And this year, it was a little bit different. I wasn't around for last year, but this year was a little bit different. And now everyone here is probably, either smoking a cigarette or kind of wants one. It's just like, that was a year, right?
It was a year where no one questioned anything because everyone was happy to be involved in money making. So if anyone tried to call out the bad practices, it's like, dude, what do you shut the fuck up? Like, we're making money. Like, don't you want to make money too? Shut up. That was kind of the vibe for years.
That's the FUD. Don't bring in the FUD. What's up, Madiak? Don't bring in the FUD. Don't spoil the party.
Right. That's the whole FUD is such a dumb word because it just means like someone asking questions and being critical. It's like, okay, you should be critical. If you're going to put thousands of dollars into something, but potentially your life savings, you should be incredibly critical. And when you see people like engaging in malpractice and kind of bad faith efforts and kind of lying and cheating the numbers and cooking the books and this and that, you should ask questions because anything like that is going to die shortly. But everyone just wanted to be in on it. So now that's kind of over. And I think, to the Funk's credit, I think Funk's played a big part in that because that was the first community that really was like, we're going to call it out and we're just not going to shut up about it. And every time an influencer posts, the Funks are going to be there and telling you to shut the fuck up. You're a scammer. You're an influence. You're doing things wrong. So I think that was a big part of it. But this year, I think, has all been the come down. I think last year in the winter was the peak Right. And then for the last 12 months, it's just been a decline. Like there's been no upside in the last 12 months.
That is, but of course, the friends along the way. I mean, the Funks themselves did a version of this. Like I was, of course, attracted to the Funks and got my start with the Funks, but my funk bag went down, and I, of course, made it back by meeting cool people. So that was something. But maybe there were cool people in the Cool Cats community too. I think the Funks community is cooler, but even the Funks, from the standpoint, I definitely was my choice to buy so many of the effing things. So that's one thing. But all the stuff went down, and of course, the Funks weren't promising anything in the same way that these other folks were. And I still think they were the best, but I do think that the narrative of it just would have been improved by the by the token becoming more valuable. So it really is the come down. So with that going on, why don't we get into the executive coach questions? And this is a very good opening because these are gonna this is going to all come back again. So what are the can I repin that now? So these are the questions. So I want to offer this to the Capsule 21 team first, who are the most important to me. Sorry, the rest of people in this chat take you or leave you. No, I love you too. But Capsule 21 first, or whatever, and then anyone should be able to say it. I can kick it off, but just going to throw it out there. So question 1. Name every single thing you are good at and enjoy doing. So it can't just be you're good at it, and it should not actually be everything, just some things. But just what are the things this year that you were good at and enjoy doing?
Are you starting, or did you want one of us to start?
All right, you start. You start. I'll go second, and then Pip goes third.
Things that I'm good at and enjoy doing
this year.
Yeah, I think this year what I've been the best at is like consistency. I've been active like every single day, and like tweeting every single day in a way that I think is not the same level of consistency that I've had in like the past with work. I try to do like one new art thing every single day. That was kind of the whole month of October. I went really hard on it. And, it took like 3 hours a day to make an entirely new work of art. Sometimes I did like 2 of them in a day. So that was that series. And otherwise, like I don't have my art cataloged anywhere. I have like a foundation collection where I put my doodles, but most of my stuff has just been put on Twitter. And I think that's been good. I don't know how to like market it very well, but I do it every day. So I would say that is something that I'm good at, and I enjoy putting it out every day. Even if it gets 2 or 3 likes or whatever. I mean, most days it does just get 2 or 3 likes, but the fact that I keep doing it, I'm kind of proud of myself for that. Pride is a sin, but I will allow myself a little bit.
Do it.
This year I've gotten so much better at graphic design. I think because of the consistency, because I've been doing graphic design every single day, I've just gotten so much better at it, and I really enjoy doing that as well. So that's my answer for today is consistency, and then the way that it's played out across all sorts of different things in graphic design and painting and whatever. So yeah,
I love it. And that it's probably bled off into the Capsule 21 podcast pact cult, where we're trying to make this the most consistent podcast out there.
Yeah, to do it every week. We did it through Christmas. We're doing it now through New Year's. I think that's admirable.
Yeah, we're being it's good. So I'll go. So I think this year my number one thing that I was good at was being funny. I think that in terms of level of importance and relevance to like daily life and success and making money, I always recommend this to people as the most important thing they can do to help themselves. And it's the thing I focused on the most, but just like being consistent with jokes on this podcast. I try to talk a lot to have no dead air because of the Twitter algorithm, but I think I've been pretty funny on this pod and just in general in different media. So, I encourage everyone to practice and be conscious of it, because that's what I've done. And I say, you got to be funny. You can't just have a good sense of humor. A good sense of humor means like, I can appreciate good, comedy. So I think I've also surrounded myself with some pretty funny people. I think Dove and Piv are both very, very funny and make me and delight me. And that's another thing I think I did well. I think I was a good leech, a good meme vacuum. These are the things when I think of myself that come into my head. Meme vacuuming basically means copying and pasting, but on the grandest scale, not just copying and pasting a piece of art or thing that you're going to use and tweak a little bit, but just like vacuum up every meme about how to do a smart contract, vacuum up every meme about like how to do JavaScript in this thing, every meme with the funks, every meme with all these things. Like I was able to come from nothing to being able to be completely incomprehensible to everyone around me, all the normies, in a very short period of time by vacuuming memes. And I was able to really find some cool people and leech. And both of these guys are really, I'm just very proud of my leech ability because they're amazing, and all of you as well. Shouts to H Wonder, shouts to Pauly. So meme vacuuming, leeching, being funny. I think that's kind of the core of what I would say I did a good job on. What do you think, Piv? Dead air. Is it?
Yeah, nice to hear. Nice to hear. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I laughed a lot too. That's true. There were really a lot of funny remarks. I find myself often laughing just reading our Discord. But
if you scroll back, you can even find the funnier thing. It's forget all of it. So yes, don't forget how funny I am, anyone.
I was thinking that I never did. You have like this performance. How is it called? Performance talk when you're in a company.
Performance review.
And then, performance review. I never did it, but now it's quite close with your questions here. I think it's like self evaluation. It's also something they do, I think.
Yeah. Well, it came from my executive coach, so it's very official.
Yes. But what I'm good at and what I enjoy doing, I think it's a bit the same like what Dove said. I've been quite consistent, and I did a review now of the first month, and it's nice to see what I did then because I check everything again. But for me, it's really playing, and it's very light. I think it never feels like I'm going to make art. It's just I'm going to try something, and maybe it will work out, and maybe not. So I think I'm good at playing with this. And another thing is that I've discovered quite a lot of art because I always try to bring something in from outside. And I've discovered a lot of new things that way, new movies and new artists. So that's been good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, I think this year you and I both, Piv, have been like very prolific. I don't know what it is. Like this year, I've just had so many ideas. Like I just feel like I always have an idea. Like so I never, like you said, like I never have to sit down and be like, okay, I'm gonna think of something. Like I'm always just doing something, and then I go, oh, like I need to do that now. Or like, oh, like that's clearly what I need to do next. Which is kind of, I think, rare. So that's been enjoyable and fun. Yeah.
Yes, but I think it has, for me at least, to do with this Twitter too. You do something and you put it out there, and then it's really not too heavy. It's just try something and do it, and maybe it's okay and maybe not. For me, that's at least something that's very enjoyable to do.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was saying too. Like Twitter, Twitter, for better for worse, whatever you want to think about it as a platform. I do like that I can just tweet something. Like I'll just make it and tweet it. I don't like sit there and heavily edit it or like review it. I just kind of do it and put it out, and it's cool to see the feedback in real time.
Mm-hmm. And another thing, I'm just at May now with my review. But what's also weird is that some things I tried, but I never really got to the end of it. But I still think that maybe I should look back at it. but then it's in February or so. Well, I think that I just did it, and then other things that are closer to now really seem a long time ago. So it's what you remember of it is not very chronological, I have the idea.
For sure. And so, yeah, I mean, okay, so now, so the darker side of life, things that aren't good, things that are bad, not things that are bad. No, this is from an executive coach. It's not like some scary thing. What did not go so good this year? What were you not great at this year? What are you not great at this year? The other side. Now, this doesn't have the and enjoy doing thing on it, but I think it's you're not great at it, even if you enjoy doing it. Same order, though. We got to go back to Dub. All right, no, you go. You go. You're starting. Go. Run with it. This is a performance review. I shouldn't be interrupting.
No, but if it also has to do with Twitter, then it really makes you lose a lot of time, because even if you put something on, but then you start reading and you lose a lot of time. So I'm not good at not wasting time on Twitter, but I think everyone is.
Yeah, that, by the way, this is great because we can end the podcast early, because that is the answer for Dove and me too. So sorry, Dove, I'm taking the words out of your mouth. Like, wow, like everyone out here, including myself, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? It's crazy when you really hear Pip say that. It's so true.
But yeah, it's very double, because at the same time it gives you ideas and you use it to bring your ideas out, but it also takes away so much time.
It takes away so much time, and for me, and this is my answer too, so I'm just saying it, but like, when I was running the company or whatever, like, there's this notion of like a budget where everyone in the company wants to spend money to do something good. And if you can't just say, okay, let me look at each request one by one, because then you run out of money. You have to do a budget, and then it's this whole annoying thing where everyone fights and hates one another and tries to game it. And that's why, someone like I do, you need an executive coach for this, basically. But time in life is the same way, even more so, right? Because it's like you don't get any more of it ever. It's even more important than money, or it is money, at least time. And yet, it's impossible to make a budget. No one makes a budget. It's as if you just said, okay, I have a very small amount of money, right? Because you're going to die. Can't be certain of that, by the way, but pretty likely that you're going to die. And I'm just going to start spending from this without thinking about anything else in the future that I want to do. And that's just what I do constantly. I just try to, you look at your phone and you waste your most precious hours. And then the funny thing is, I still don't feel like I spend enough time on Twitter. Like, I feel I'm not up on all the memes. So I don't know. What do you think, Doug?
Same thought. I don't spend enough time on Twitter. You should not think that.
Well, but I feel like, what I will say, and I'm not using it in the right way, but like what I will say is, when I look at people who have a big following, first of all, a big following on Twitter, I would give anything for that. Anything. I mean, I think that is the best thing to have, basically. Like a big, real following. I think it's amazing. But the people who get it, to both of your points, are tweeting a lot and also replying a lot and reacting a lot. And, I don't think I could really ever do that. But that's when I say I'm not on enough. I think I'm on enough to ruin my life, but not enough to, get a following or do anything good. So it's really tough. It's tough. What do you think, Dove?
Yeah, I am trying to use Twitter less. I've been helped out by this. Let's look at my list of muted words. This has helped me a lot, and maybe this will be good advice for everyone here. How do I find this? Where is my muted words list? Once you start muting words, I mean, you just log off, because then there's no content.
I could never get down with muting a word, because it's like, what if it's, this is like the whole point of like art, right? It's like, criticism. It's like, how do you know you're not muting someone saying the thing is bad? It's like,
okay.
You can't. What about this? How do you mute someone? You're going to mute someone telling you to mute that same thing? Like you are about to give advice that you can't even read.
It's okay because these two things, if you mute them on Twitter, your Twitter experience will be better and you will spend less time on Twitter. Are you ready? These are two words. This is very valuable advice. You need to mute the words ape, and you should also mute the word BAYC. Okay? 60% of what people talk about in NFT Twitter is ape related. So when you realize that, you just don't talk about apes, it gets a lot better. If someone annoys you on Twitter, you should mute them too. Because I get a lot of accounts on my feed that like I hate this account, but like two people that I follow it and like it, so then it shows up in my feed. So I've blocked muted. I've muted Wall Street Silver. I've muted Degen Spartan. I've muted Gainsey.
You muted Gainsey.
D
No,
Farmer.
no.
I've muted Clown World. Okay.
No.
I've muted Mario Newfall. Actually, that is also a pro tip. So you should mute Ape, mute Basie, and then you should also mute the account Mario Nawful, who hosted the really bad Twitter Spaces. And then I also muted G13M, who is the guy who does the Ape cosplays. So anyway, this is unrelated to the executive coach question, but that is my advice: is that you should.
No, you're allowed to do tips. Executive coaches are very practical.
Yeah,
but you did not to dox you. You did recently, as today, share a video that had one of your muted words in it in our Discord chat. So,
yeah, I saw it because that came up on my YouTube recommended.
Oh, so you don't? Okay, got it. All right, yeah. So that's true. Although YouTube, I will say I like. Basically, I think I can get on YouTube and not like feel totally.
Okay. YouTube
depressed.
is the best thing on the internet.
I said I like it. Okay, jeez.
That's my take. YouTube is the best thing on the. Don't watch TV. Just watch YouTube videos. Anyway, okay. Let me answer the question. Otherwise, I'm going to get distracted talking about how to use Twitter less. But I am trying to use Twitter less. I use Twitter too much too. This year I've been working like 18 hours a day. Most days I work like 18 hours a day, and that's not really even like a joke. I know it probably doesn't seem like I do that, but really from the time that I wake up to the time I go to sleep, I'm like thinking about my Twitter profile and like how to gain attention and do make more money, because I don't have a job right now. My job is doing this, right? So I've been trying to balance that out better and like take time where I'm not thinking about, the thing, my 12 Adobe Illustrator files and, my Figma, and thinking about the painting that I'm working on right now. So that's something that I haven't been good at this year, is time management and like making time for things other than work and doom scrolling Twitter. So lately I started like playing Fortnite. It's been fun. Fortnite is so good. Okay, don't even give me an opinion. Fortnite is amazing. Fortnite is really, really good, and I know that I'm like 5 years late, but wow. And
I should play that. Like, that's a real thing. If you want to consider yourself to be like, oh no, you have to watch like 400 blows or whatever to be cultural. It's like, no, you should play Fortnite.
Yeah. If you play Fortnite, you'll be caught up on everything.
Yeah. That's the new Twitter.
Time management this year has been hard. This year I've been bad at marketing. I don't know how to do that, and I don't know how to fix it either. I think I have to use Twitter more. So it's a catch-22. I don't want to use Twitter, but you kind of have to. Marketing is hard. I don't know what I'm doing. So that's my real answer to the second question.
That was going to be both of those things. Both of those was what I was going to say. And I think the marketing thing is just so true. I remember I was talking to Michael, founder of Indelible Labs, about what it looks like for a project to succeed. And he gave me like all of this advice. It was, of course, after I had messed everything up or whatever. And I've talked about this with y'all, and Pip and I have really thought about it because of the clickbait thing. But like, you can't just go out there and and I knew this, by the way, like my whole, previous job where I really needed an executive coach was like, okay, you want to go sell, ads on genius.com. Guess what? The way you do that isn't you should go out and say, hey, everyone, we're selling ads today. You got to, do marketing. And likewise, you can't just say, hey, we're selling, the first ever interactive punk NFT, whatever thing. And so, I really am just embarrassed. Like, the Cap 21 team has never really done a giveaway, I don't think, where you say like and retweet this and the tweet gets over 100 retweets. That's a real giveaway. Have we ever done this?
No.
And so it's just like, why are we doing anything? We're doing all this work to throw it away.
We have to do more engagement farming. But it's true. Yeah. You have to engagement farm. If you think that you can become a big account on Twitter without engagement farming, then you haven't been tweeting for a year straight every single day with good content. Because I have, and I don't have a lot of followers because I don't engagement farm, which is fine.
How many followers did you get?
I don't know. This year, whatever. I probably 1,000. I don't know. 1,500, 2,000, somewhere in.
I mean, I got up to 5,000, and I posted a big graphic congratulating myself, and then I'm back at 4,954. So brutal, but it could be worse. But
yeah, marketing's tough. You can't just post. Before this year, I was like, I'm just going to post every day, and that way I'll have a big account. And it doesn't work that. I thought it worked that way, and it now I know that it doesn't. You have to you have to reply to people all the time, and you have to engagement farm in order to achieve that goal, if that's your goal.
Yeah, replies seem to be when people are tweeting about this kind of thing. What do you do? It's replies. Also, I've heard Spaces is supposed to be good. So if you're in the space, you don't follow the three of us. You got to really ask yourself, what are you doing right now? Like literally right now, go follow us.
I'll wait. I think we have to join other spaces. I think this is the thing with Twitter Spaces that you can't just do your own. In order to you have to be in other people's. This is a weird thing. Being a guest in someone else's space gets me more followers than running my own space.
Yeah, no, it's funny. When I was doing the sort of anti-merge spaces stuff, I was joining spaces and just saying bad stuff about the merge. I feel like it was pretty good for my following. And recently, even, I guess I had that good tweet recently with the hidden traits thing. That actually got some pretty good. The addition to views on tweets is one of the greatest and craziest things ever.
No, it sucks because it makes me feel bad because I see that 200 people or 500 people saw my thing, and then it got 5 likes. Which when you're doing art and you post something that you spent a couple hours on and you think looks really good, and then it gets you see that 400 people saw it and scrolled past that's the kind of.
I see what you're saying. You want the ratio up. I don't care about likes. Just spell my name right. Okay. Let's be real and go to the next stage. What are the hard learnings? I guess whatever. We know what the hard learnings are. The hard learnings are, manage your time better and, sorry, executive coach, manage your time better and, do better at marketing, basically. Can we agree on this or should we dwell more on this question?
Go ahead, Piv.
No, I think we indeed already had this question. Or we just talked about the hard learnings, yes.
I answer, which is that I think that I need to do less but better things. When you do a lot of things, it kind of makes people unhappy. In 2022,
What do you mean less and better? Your whole philosophy is more.
But I'm saying that this is maybe the hard lesson. Is that more low effort things is not as good. In 2022, let me think of all the smart contracts that I have been responsible for this year. I launched a PFP collection called Like a League in February. I launched my foundation collection, RKGK. I launched another foundation collection called Public Internet. I launched another foundation collection called October 2022. I launched Cyberfunks. I launched Yunks. I launched Moon Lake. What else has there been? I feel like there's been something. I've done so much that it's hard to even remember because I've just been like working on all these things. But I think what I've realized this year and what I'm going to change in 2023 is that I think I am just going to do like one or two really big and like very high effort things because I think that doing different stuff all the time is bad for brand building, and it also makes people feel not very good because you aren't paying attention to something that they like. So if you create something and people become fans of it, then they kind of get upset when you move on to a new thing. And I think it's hard to like resist the temptation. Like as I was saying earlier, like this year I've had so many like cool new ideas, and I always feel like, okay, next, like what's next? What's next? And that's a temptation that's hard to put aside. But that's my goal for 2023, and I think that's the hardest lesson that I've learned this year. I think that was my biggest fumble this year, was doing too much.
Doing the most?
Yeah. Yeah, doing the
most. That's a meme. It's a meme. Yeah, I think the hidden benefit, though, my dude, I want to unlearn, you got to unlearn this, is that when you do the most, you don't just get the benefit or lack of benefit that comes from the things that you do the most of. You also like learn from those things and whatever. So, you don't, maybe you're not giving that enough credit. If you hadn't done Laka League, which I'm a holder, by the way, and I like that NFT. If you hadn't done that, could you have done Cyberpunks? If you hadn't done Cyberpunks, how could you have done something that did way worse than Cyberpunks? So, okay, yeah, Cyberpunks was definitely good.
Yeah, I don't regret doing like the things that I did this year, but I now that I have all the experience of doing that, I know how to do it better, and I know like what I'm supposed to do. But I don't regret it because I learned so much this year. I'm Zagabond. I'm a learner.
It's true. I mean, can you imagine how much you learned?
And I just wanted to say that there's another thing too about these projects. I also was in doubt if we should do Vertigo punks, but I'm glad we did them all, because I think at some point the energy to do punk things will be gone for us. So I'm glad that they are there now.
Right, that's true. I mean, if you think about something like Vertigo Punks and Clickbait, my God, we had no doubts about it. It still bombed like the worst thing you've ever seen. But all of these projects, this is what people don't understand. Like, it's a lot of work. It's like, even if no one buys it, it's actually still a lot of work. And so, yeah, if we didn't get over the hump to do it then, after some period of time passes, it's like, when are you gonna ever be able to do it? Because you have to have all this like kind of specific knowledge and whatever, and you just got to fight to do that. Well, you don't ever know how little time you have in your frame, your context, and that means don't go on Twitter because you're wasting your life. But it does mean you don't know how much time you will have where you'll be able to do punks, and you might think, okay, well, the golden age of Zagabond last year is over, so what's the point? It's like, well, it's still way more golden, right now. Unfortunately, we are in the midst of the end-all be-all of punk projects. Except for the dice, would you say that is correct, team?
The end of what?
The end-all be-all, like the golden calf, or not that, the best and last punk derivative ever. Is that what we're working on?
Yes, I think so.
Yes.
I think aside from little like one-offs, like when we have an interesting idea, like Piv did the dice thing, and I just minted some punks on Foundation through the puzzle that I did, which got solved today. So congrats to @BChain Enigma, who solved my punk puzzle.
They only got 0.05 for all that work? Wow.
Yeah, they got no. They got $60 and they got a one-of-one NFT.
They should get $600. They probably had spent like an hour or more on that.
I don't have $600 to give them.
True. So
But yeah, I think aside from like one-off stuff like that, where we obviously like use the punks for artistic ideas, like, yeah, I think collections, the one that we're working on right now is the last one, as far as I would have it. And it's the biggest and the best. Not to be too Trumpian, but this is this is really the greatest. This is the best thing we've ever done.
You do a Trump thing?
I don't know. You tell me. Was that a good one?
Yes. That was amazing. Very, 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 very impressed.
No, but seriously, it's so good. It's so good. We have to tease it because I'm tired of people not. I don't know. It's so good. It's so good. I can't wait to show more.
All right, tease it. Tease it to these 6 people, or for the podcast listeners, 6 who you don't know, 600 people. 1,000.
No. It'll have to be in like a good tweet. It'll have to be in a good engagement farming 100 retweet tweet.
Well, let me just put it this way: at least one person who is in this room is going to get at least one free one. Okay, that I can guarantee. But
that's true.
And I can also say it's only one of you. No, I can't say that. I actually don't know the answer to that, but it should be a excitement and anxiety is what you should feel right now. So what is the let's just wrap it up here. No, let's not wrap it up, but let's get to the heart of the matter. Biggest challenges this year, and this is kind of like the all-in one, I guess. The last question. So I was thinking about this question, actually trying to prepare for the pod last night, and I'm watching this TV show. I'm very early in. Do not say a word about it. Do not spoil it. It's called The Vow. It's about basically a cult, except it's interesting because this cult had a lot of good ideas, basically, and did a lot of good things, but also was bad. So anyway, The Vow. I recommend watching it. It's on, what is it on? HBO Max, I want to say. HBO Max. Aside, I remember when HBO Max, the brand, launched, I was like, what kind of garbage brand is this? And now it's like the best brand, basically. In The Vow, they their whole thing, as always with these kind of cultish ideas, is it's like very first principles oriented. Like, okay, we're going to tell you on the most basic level how the mind works. We're going to reinvent everything. And it's kind of scary when you really go down this path and, whatever. But one thing they had in the episode was they were doing their big training thing, and they had this thing on, they had this thing called self-esteem. Okay. And they said, okay, we in this cult, and it's kind of good, are looking at self-esteem from first principles. And we say self-esteem, we define self-esteem as the number of possibilities that you believe that you have in your life, basically. And when I saw this on the show, I was kind of pretty into it because I was like, there's just a real truth there, because you can feel, when you feel bad about yourself, it's often because you feel like there is no escape, like the walls are closing in on yourself. Not like that you are in a bad spot exactly, but that you are in a bad spot and there's no thing that you can do. You don't have any options. And if you've seen the movie It's a Wonderful Life, this kind of plays out in this movie, which is another movie I saw recently. And this is iconic, so I can feel free to spoil it, but never say that to me. Never say, oh, Tom, it's 50 years old, you can spoil it. I don't believe in that, but it's commonly referred to as fine. Anyway, the thing that could put you in the kind of situation he was when it was very bad for him was a feeling like everything is messed up and I can't, it was my fault basically, and I can't do anything to get out of it. So, it's not like this year I had a ton of dark times in that to that extreme, but there were times when the way wasn't totally clear to me to do any of the stuff. And even now, still, there are some things that are stressing me out, which I'm not even going to talk about, but the way isn't totally clear. And it's just like, how do you put yourself in a position where you have high self-esteem, where you believe that you have possibilities and options versus thinking that you don't? And, even when you don't know. And there's, something called paying the toll twice, which is when you believe that things are bad, in advance to them actually being bad. So how do you get yourself in a headspace where you can believe that you have options, that you live in a world of plenty? So that's my challenge to everyone is believe in the number of options that you have.
That's good advice. Yeah, I like that. I like that self-esteem is how many things you believe you're capable of doing. That's good advice.
The possibilities.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes you feel like you're in a corner, like you're not really able to do anything.
The exact same external circumstances can feel very different based on whether you believe you have moves or not. And there's
So
always a way out.
The exact question is what's the biggest challenge?
Biggest challenges this year.
The biggest challenge that I had this year was figuring out how to be a human being again. In October of 2021 is when I left the Marine Corps, and this is more like late 2021, not quite 2022. Like December.
This is crazy. This is the same time I sold Genius, so we both embarked on our new thing, and then Piv left his job.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah. Because it's very serendipitous. Yeah, I got a job at a bakery because I wanted to be a pastry chef. So I went and I did a little restaurant job, and I worked there for a really, really, really short amount of time before I decided that I hated it. And then I got into NFTs, and now I don't work for anyone thanks to NFT stuff, which is pretty epic to be self-employed. But that's also come with like a big challenge of I had like a lot of structure, and I had a lot of consistency in my life before with like paycheck, and also just like with my time, and like when I go to work, and like when I come home, and what I do when I'm home, and all of this. And this year I've had to try to figure out like what it means to be like an individual person again, like in control of all my own time, and in control of like how I'm gonna like put food on the table for myself, and things like that. So that's been the biggest challenge. And now I have my own apartment. I am not like living with my folks anymore, which is very cool because I was doing that for a while after I got out, because I wasn't going to college or anything, so I just moved back in. And yeah, so that's been the biggest challenge. It's paid off. It's been a fun challenge. I think that I won the challenge, but there was definitely like a lot of moments where I was like really overworking myself, and like being like really, really stressed out because I didn't know how to be like independent. So yeah, for that's this year for me. But that's a little bit outside of like NFT specific stuff, but just in terms of like dovetail life, that was it for sure.
I love it.
Yeah, it has to do with Twitter also, that if you have to find a new structure, but then this Twitter comes in the way of your discipline.
Yeah, and it's tricky because Twitter is part of the discipline too, because it's like
Indeed.
you need to post, and you need to like be active and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I was really very, very irritating to the person that I was dating earlier this year, because I was spending all my time in like Polly's funk spaces from like January to March instead of like paying attention to her. So it's hard to balance. I think that's it for me. Piv, what do you got?
We have Ryder here.
Yeah, welcome.
Who wants to come up?
Hey.
Hey.
What's up, Ryder?
Oh, well, I just got this like little Rode device. I'm trying to see if I could use a external microphone in spaces and other ways. I want to start like live streaming stuff a lot, and I'm just like, I can do that in a dank way, like with a laptop. I have a lot of audio gear, but like, can you, like, if I tap this, can you hear, does it sound like I'm tapping a micro? I can't tell what microphone it's using. Like, do you hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Does it sound?
Doesn't sound like you're tapping that though.
Yeah,
Doesn't
it
sound
sounds like
you're.
it's elsewhere in the
Yeah,
room.
fuck.
There's
Like,
a
I can't,
slight echo.
yeah, I have this, like, Rode device that it works fine. Like, if I use anything except Twitter Spaces, like, I can get, like, if I record video, I can like, use this external microphone, and it's cool. It's basically just like a DAW for iPhone, or I mean, you could actually use it on a computer too. It's just like a teeny little device that, I'm trying to figure out how to get an external mic input into Twitter Spaces, and it's not an easy thing. It's very odd. I mean, you could obviously use your AirPods, but yeah, short of that, it's very strange actually. Anyways, this is what I came in. Sorry to bombard your space. I have no idea what you're talking about. I just wanted to test this out.
No, it's fine. I mean, audio quality is the foundation of this entire thing. I use my AirPods Pro. I don't love the quality, but the convenience is nice. Dub, I think, has the best quality, and I think he uses plug-in AirPods, if I'm
Well,
correct.
I don't
No.
only want to speak. I
No.
want to basically have like a line level input device and then like a mixer going into it. So I could I want to fucking play music. I want to like speak. I want to
Yeah, there's a device. I can I have it bookmarked. Someone shared a thread of like how to do it. I'll find the thread and then I'll DM it to you.
yeah.
Yeah, I should get this too, to be able to like play
No,
some music without using your computer
no,
speaker next to it. This
we
seems
had
very
this
normal.
we had this conversation, Tom, and then you were like, "Yeah, but I don't want to spend $600."
All right, now I'm doing it. If Ryder's doing it, I'm doing it.
So the latest thing that I've been into, because I've been into teenage engineering, I bought like the OP1 in
Oh,
2000,
those are cool.
in 2000 and like whatever came out, 14 or something. But they have like this mixer that's like this teeny, it's like the size of an iPhone, and it has 6 inputs, and it's USB, and supposedly they say that it's iOS compatible. And I found one video of someone like fucking around with it with their iPhone on YouTube, and it seems to work. The thing is $1,200, so it's pricey. But I was thinking, I haven't bought it, but I was thinking maybe I will, because if it's one of the only devices that can do this, it can also just do everything. It has 6 inputs. That's like more than enough. And it seems like a nice Swiss Army knife of sorts for audio.
Yeah. Plus, it's very good looking. It's a nice little desk toy.
Yeah, exactly.
So you know what he's talking about, Doug? Is there? Can we put a
Yeah. The
link up
teenage
here for
engineering stuff is very gorgeous, like audio engineer equipment, and they have like some synths and stuff as well.
Yeah,
It's good stuff.
so yeah, maybe, but my the only caveat with that is that it really does need to work with this iOS thing. That the issue isn't, there's a million audio devices. You can get a pretty good audio device for $50, but the issue is it working with Twitter Spaces. And like, so for instance,
Yeah.
this road thing, I think Twitter Spaces has some fuckery going on, because this road thing like even works with the video app in the phone, like the built-in, like if you go to the video app, you record, it'll like pull the mic from the little Rode. It's actually a nice design. It's like this teeny little device that you plug in to the lightning cable. It comes with some other cables. You can plug it in just regular USB-C if you have a laptop, whatever, and it works with that too. But you plug it in lightning, and the phone does recognize it, and it's fine. And so it's just a strange thing, because when you then open up Twitter Spaces, it's actually, this is where it gets really crazy. This is where I think some fuckery is going on. So right when I opened up the space, I had the Rode device plugged in, and I had my headphones going into the Rode device, and I was listening to the Twitter Space through the Rode device. Then I requested to speak, and then when I was accepted to speak, it switched all the audio to the internal speaker, and then I think like the mic too. So I think that is like something going on with Twitter Spaces, where like they don't want people to use external devices or something, which maybe it's like a security thing. Like I don't know what's going
Maybe
on,
like a
but
bandwidth thing. Are you in a very large room right now?
I mean, I'm in I mean, it's not very large, but my house is like, I have concrete floors and not a lot of
Okay.
furniture.
Okay.
So
I wondered if the echo wasn't like 2 mics or something. It
yeah,
sounds like you have a cathedral filter on your mic or
I know it's
some
just
sort of reverb.
the nature of my house is concrete floor and not a lot of couches.
Hell yeah.
Can
Very,
you
very
switch?
Rick Owens of you.
Yeah,
Can you
exactly.
switch the audio with the if you swipe down and change it through like the AirPlay icon? Where you
So there's
sometimes
standard voice isolation. There's different mic modes, but then I don't know. Oh, I see what you're saying. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Let me try that. Hold on, let me plug in the thing again. Like in that little, I know what you're talking about that like little three.
I have to do that sometimes with AirPods.
Okay, let me try that.
By the way, it's funny, Tom, that you said that I have the best mic because I just used the iPhone 13 like speaker mic. Like I don't have AirPods in or anything. Like this is just the iPhone itself.
This is from the phone? Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
So I'm literally using my AirPods Pro, looking at my phone right now, getting worse quality. But you don't want to hear like
No, it
what
doesn't.
could happen.
It doesn't offer that option.
Yeah, Twitter definitely does some like weird audio stuff because you can listen to more than one thing while you're in Spaces.
Well, the Twitter Spaces app, like the piece of software, is not a purpose-built piece of software. It's some like video. H Wonder was telling me about this or talking about it in a chat somewhere. It's like another piece of like video calling software that they just ripped the video out of.
Yeah, Periscope.
Oh, it's
Yeah,
Periscope. Yeah.
it's just Periscope without video.
Interesting. Man, it's so weird because I feel like they're like, how does that what's that popular like shilling space? That guy Nick or whatever?
I've no, I wouldn't.
Theo and Nick. You know how they have that space? They're pretty. I mean, like I don't really like what they talk about, but they like have a pretty good format and they like have music going and shit. And like I wonder what they're using because it's like they definitely are not just like recording, like holding the mic to the speaker. It sounds pretty good when they play music.
Yeah, no, this is what I was telling you. There's like a piece of equipment that does work with iOS. I think it's also much easier on Android.
Yes, I think that's definitely the issue. People are using Androids. That's the whole thing.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah, get an Android phone for Spaces. I think
Well, you could run an emulator too.
An Android would be less expensive than the piece of teenage engineering equipment, which is
That's
fun.
Well, let me
actually
ask
not
this
a bad
question.
idea. But then
If you could do the emulator, could you run the emulator on your computer? Okay, and then you're on your computer. I'm shocked that this hasn't occurred to me before. This is a good point.
I
Can you
thought
just
of
run an
that.
Android
I
emulator on your
thought of
computer?
that. I tried it. I tried that a long time ago. It doesn't work.
Damn, that'd be cool because then you could host a website that was like Twitter Spaces online and like pay people to.
You could do all sorts of crazy shit if you had the emulator. Like you could, yeah, like you could stream and like you could have. This is what I was thinking is like, imagine if you had like a 24-hour stream on like multiple. You had it like the exact same stream mirrored on like, YouTube, Twitch, all the different things like basically at the same time. Be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what some people do. I don't know. Maybe the emulator they're using is using an older version of Twitter.
Oh, that could be it too. Yeah, that's a good point.
Now I've got to try because I have one for like website testing, like the 100 gigabyte Android Studio emulator file thing. So now I'm really like into this. Of course, there's the iPhone emulator, but I'm not sure exactly how you can download the. I guess you could just download the app on that.
So 2023, do we have to upgrade the Capsule 21 pod standards? Do we need we need better audio equipment? We need music. Is this good?
Yeah,
music,
we need music.
Formatting.
Well, Twitter now plays in the Spaces. They'll let you play music before the thing starts, so they acknowledge how awkward it is without music.
Oh.
They give you a little like fake, CCO music thing, but you can't actually then play the sound effect or play a video clip, of course.
Interesting. I like it loose. I like this loose podcast, less serious.
Yeah,
It's
so
audio quality
I'm
that's holding us back.
thinking I'm gonna go really hard on like just streaming a lot. Like that's what I'm gonna do in the new year. And so I'm just trying to like kind of get everything in order for that. Like I want to do like a crazy variety show and like not really have any format like on some Warhol TV party shit, but like sometimes because I actually love DJing, but I haven't done it a lot recently. But like I want to have all my stuff set up so it can kind of like just go between all these different medias and just kind of like have no real
structure, but like people can call in and just whatever and talk about the lawsuit and talk
That'd be
about
cool.
the state of technology and just cover lots of things and keep people informed, because there's going to be a lot of stuff happening this year. I'll tell you that. Like, there just is. And it'll be good to have. I think it's nice when you can see someone's face, and it's nice when people are like engaging in like a conversational way, but it's also nice to like be able to express myself and like other things that I'm interested in, like music and stuff like that. So it's like it's kind of just like weird fine tuning shit I'm going through right now, just like trying to like figure out the right gear setup, so like I don't have to fucking like fiddle with this again. I just want to like have it set up and be able to like stream easily from my phone or laptop and like kind of, you know what I mean, like
Well,
just
are
have
you
it.
targeting Twitter Space? I mean, what you say now, and you talk about like the multi-platform thing too. Like, I think, and also like just even in the context of the lawsuit mentioning YouTubers or whatever, like I saw that. So it's like, what about the video streaming thing? Like, I
Twitch.
feel
I
like
think Twitch is cool. I like Twitch.
Twitch just
It's
as a
good.
format, like I feel like we, and this is me too, of course, us, everyone's like optimizing for Twitter Spaces because that's where like their audience is and NFT stuff and whatever. But like, there's no video. Also, the technology is brutal. Like,
I agree.
if you could have an audience on Twitch where you can actually do the whole, good mixing thing and have video, which people want anyway, typally, maybe that's
Yeah.
just the better move,
Yeah,
even if it's
I,
No,
I
I
costing
think
people
totally
the
the
agree
volume.
with
real the
you.
real
The
move would
one,
be
the one
to.
thing, the one thing that I do like about spaces, which I'm sure I could figure out how to do on Twitch, is like how people like on Twitch. It seems like people are like talking to a camera, and then like there's a chat going, and like sometimes like they'll like flag different things that people say in the chat, and like that'll be the way you can have like a volley with the host. But I do like the auditory volley or like visual as well, like where you can see two people on the screen at the same time.
Well, Twitch has what is it called, stars or whatever? Like they can become guest stars.
Oh,
They
really?
can, yeah, they can join, and you can like have a backstage for them, and
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
definitely need to just get into that world.
I think
Yeah.
ideally you would stream on Twitch and then have, I don't know, some way to multicast it as a Twitter space, right? So the audio feed from your Twitch stream is being fed into a Twitter space, and then you don't have to pay attention to the Twitter space. You just have to do the Twitch thing. But all of your Twitter audience, the people who, as soon as you jumped in here, like 20 more people joined our space, like your pre-built Twitter audience will kind of be able to get the Twitch thing as well. That would be, I think that's probably the best
Yeah,
way
I
to
mean,
do it. I think we
I'll
should do
have
that. But
there'll be two paralegals from Fenwick joining all of it 24/7. Which
yeah,
thing
your
I'm
CIA
definitely
handlers.
happy about.
I know. I think that Charlie Penguins and or Critical or whatever the hell his name is, and Hassan and these people. It'd be really cool to see like a stream with them too. It's cool stuff.
Yeah, forget simulcasting to space. I'm Twitch pilled right now because, like, first of all, if you simulcast, like, yes, if you're huge, and Ryder has a very big audience, so that'll be good. But thinking for myself, or more so, just like this, everything's going to be a second class citizen in some way, and there people are going to know it aside from the main thing. And so it's like pick the main thing and the main format, and make it work. And yeah, figure out the Twitch tooling and whatever stuff needs to happen to bring the best stuff of Spaces onto Twitch. And like, I don't know. I just think
Yeah.
it's way better. There's a reason why the big time people, right? Think about big time people, not like Twitter people who have audiences do Spaces, like big time people, like streamers. There's a reason why those people are not on Twitter Spaces. Like, I don't know very many of their names, but just to use the corny example, like, I guess does Mr. Beast do Twitter Space? Like, he's probably like worried more about the video format. Like, there's something
No,
about that format.
Mr.
So
Beast is not doing Twitter Spaces.
yeah, so let's get off of Twitter. It's
Well,
over.
I was just going to say, like, this is maybe the problem that we have right now is that we are doing a podcast and we're doing a Twitter space, but everything is built for the Twitter space. So we like leave room for people to talk. We like ask people to come up, which maybe it'd be better if we just did it like focused as a podcast, and then we could improve audio setup, and we could take listener submissions if they
And
want
had it be
on
video,
call
dude.
or whatever. Yeah,
It's
video is fun
time.
too. Then I would
Hold
have
on,
to
I'm
like
gonna
be
try
presenting
one other
every Thursday.
thing. I have a new idea for a. Hold on, sorry, bear with me. Sorry to cut you off. I just had a eureka moment. I had to. I
Try
gotta
it. Do it.
Discord's also adding like video stages, which are like more.
Yeah, I've seen people do that when Twitter Spaces are down. They migrate to Discord, which I think is strange. Just go to Twitch. Twitch is so much
I'm
better.
giving Twitch. Here I'm announcing it. I am giving Twitch till the end of January. Excuse me, Twitter. Twitch. I'm not requiring anything of. Twitter has to announce video spaces by the end of January, or the podcast is leaving. That's my ultimatum.
Not going to happen. You have to go secure the Capsule 21 name on Twitch before someone snipes it and charges you $500.
Or YouTube. You were just saying YouTube's amazing.
YouTube is okay. The YouTube Live functionality is not as good. YouTube Live kind of sucks. It's really hard to find people. The chat function is not as good. They're trying, but Twitch is still can't.
Is
But
Twitch
it can't be
owned by
chat.
Microsoft?
Amazon.
Oh, Amazon. Okay.
As Ryder says, it cannot be some chat thing. Like Spaces has taught us that, maybe have some chat, but you need people to be able to interact 100%, just boom, on stage, talk. Yeah, I'm shocked that doesn't exist.
People don't want to come up on stage here. We have Yoke, resident speaker of the podcast. Okay, big round of applause for Yoke coming up here. But most people would feel much more comfortable, chatting, typing a message. I think most people don't really like speaking.
Yeah, that's a good point. But if you have a guest, I guess the guest you figure it out for the guest. So yeah.
I even answered your questions, but I haven't really felt like the need to jump in because you guys are been rolling.
But if we do video, you have to get fancy. I actually have because when I was doing my old job, I had to be on camera all day, so I bought like a fancy camera. But like that's a whole other angle, right? We're talking about audio gear, then you have to do video gear, and it has to have a blurry background for real, not some filter, and that's a whole other exercise. So that would be the other issue, basically. Ring light.
You have to cut this out of the recorded version of this, but I stole a very nice camera from the military when I left.
Yeah. The paralegals aren't liking that. Let's just...
No, I asked all the officers in my building. I was like, "Is this yours? Like, do you know when when we bought this?" And no one knew, so I just took it.
Well, it wasn't new.
I mean, it looked like it had been used twice.
Yeah, so it's a used thing. What type of camera is it?
It's just like a very nice like Logitech desktop thing. It's like 1440p. It's got like a nice.
Dude, you need a mirrorless Sony mirrorless camera. You can't use
that, but it's very annoying to get plugged into your Mac. It sucks. I tried it. I tried to be a Twitch streamer like 2 years ago, and it's really bad to be a streamer.
Well, there's a device for this. I did a lot of research on this once. There's a device for this. It's called a Camlink 4K. You ever heard of that?
Yes. It's not good. It's really bad. It's really bad. Trying to get a mirrorless camera hooked up sucks.
It was good for me, but yeah. Okay, so can we make this pact? We have to switch. Although Piv has not face doxed, I've been begging him to do it. What do you think, Piv? Would you do all video pods from now on?
But then the video is just a camera on us. That's it. Actually, that's what you see.
Yeah.
Is that? And why is that so good?
The video will look like a screen recording of a Twitter Spaces. We'll reconstruct that.
I mean, that's it's crazy because I like podcasts and stuff, and I'm so much more prone to watch a podcast than I am to listen, even though I usually just am listening. If that makes, but there is something natural about wanting to see the person speaking.
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah, every time I listen to a podcast, it is on my second monitor, and I'm not looking at it. But I never listen to the audio version. I just have the people. They're like my little parasocial relationship friends on my second screen, and I only look very occasionally. But I like it. It's very nice.
Yeah, I think we gotta do a Twitter Spaces like the experience. Like when I'm in a Twitter Space, I'm not the host. All I am doing is figuring out how to talk and how to do that. I'm not listening to anything. And then when I am the host, I'm just praying someone will talk, basically. So it's like it all revolves around what is a very good presentation mechanism, but ultimately the format it's game over. Plus, there were some small technical issues today with Pib becoming co-host. So yeah, do I have Twitch/Middlemarch, or like what's the deal here? I think I have Tom Lehman Ceramics, actually. I think it's a ceramics Twitch. I was going to be streaming pottery, but I can make a new one, like an NFT one.
Cool. That would be sick. Wow, we could have a Capsule 21 account where, you know, when we aren't doing the weekly thing, you could do ceramics. I could have a camera while I like paint or something. That could be fun. That could be fun. This is a good year in review, Ryder. But you kind of joined and didn't know what was going on, but we were just doing like a year in review and talking about, you know, the podcast and things that we need to change and how our lives have been over the last year. But this is a good transition to talking about the actual format of the thing itself, which I think maybe we could experiment a little bit and change things up. I think that'd be good.
This is not experimenting. This is totally changing everything.
I think I like to have a separate device maybe to stream. So maybe I'll get like the new iPad and use like Twitch or something on that. And I don't know, because I have so much shit going on my computer. It's good to have it separate, I think, where it's just like, okay, like this device is streaming. It has a, you know, like it's all set up, like just the audio, you know what I mean? And then you could like have your computer and you could like pipe in audio from there into a mixer that goes into the stream, but like the stream itself is dedicated. I think like I don't know, for me, like something like that is important just because it keeps keeps stuff separated, especially because I'm like doing so many things on my laptop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it does seem kind of weird if you have all these things open, you know, and you command tab to the wrong thing and like hit command Q or something, just shuts the screen.
or
Yeah, I
just
wonder what
yeah.
professionals do with this.
Or
Like, do
just
they have
Capture
like
something?
the security issues of like, you know, having like your bank login and the same thing that you're like
Yeah.
doing public stuff on.
Although if you do it, I don't do an iPad. iPad is not. I don't recommend doing.
I have an iPad that Kanye bought me that I use for like controlling the music in my house, and like that's all it is. Like I never got into the iPad ever. So
Yeah.
but I do know that the new ones are like really powerful with like an M2 chip and
It
um
well,
yeah.
the problem is that like all the good streaming software is built for Windows still.
Oh,
Uh,
I cannot handle Windows.
I,
The
I
No,
or
you can get what's it called? What's
no
the Veeam one?
OBS.
Yeah, you
I
can get OBS on the Mac.
no. I promise you don't want to do it on a Mac. I've tried
Are you
and
serious?
yeah,
No, I can't. There's no way I'm doing it then because I can't deal. I think Windows is like nails on a chalkboard. Like looking at the interface of Windows and like just like the context menus design. Like there's this one famous
built machine
screen. What?
streaming and you just learned the streaming stuff, then you
Dude,
wouldn't use it too much.
Windows is a virus as far as I'm concerned. Like that thing is so. It's just so buggy. It's such a. I can't believe people use that shit. I mean,
You
I'm
can use
sure there's a bunch
Linux.
of.
Yes, the most aesthetically
No, but
appealing one. But no,
aesthetically, like
there is something. What about
the
gaming though,
security is
Ryder? Like the
garbage in
aesthetic of
Windows
like
too.
playing
Like the
Fortnite.
privacy and the security is garbage. Like I definitely trust Apple more.
Like Fortnite. Like, wouldn't you like to play Fortnite on a Windows PC? Like that's where it's native, you know?
I don't really play games. I used to when I was like a kid. I used to play Quake 3 and Half-Life, but I've stopped since then.
You can't shun the games because that's like that's like watching important cinema now. You know, you have to
Well,
be
Steam just made the Steam Deck, and that runs Linux.
Damn, get H up here. We got a whole fucking crew going.
The crew's already here. In middle March, Capsule 21.
Well, H set a reminder for this space actually, so I guess the reminder functionality didn't.
Yeah, Gato said that his notification didn't work, so no hard feelings, H.
God, if Fenwick doesn't get in here right now, where the fuck are they? Who? Maybe this person is Fenwick. Lizard Person SA. That Fenwick? No, it's not.
It's me.
You can.
I'm Eric Ball. Nice
You
to
can see if people are listening on the. Can you still see that if people are listening on the computer but are not?
No, how do you see that?
I thought that was a thing. No, is
I
anyone know what I'm
don't
talking
see
about?
Yeah, I don't see it.
Well, they took out the function that says if you're like tweeting from your iPhone, so I feel like they probably would have taken that out too.
Oh, yeah. I like that they took that out. I never understood why that was completely an invasion of privacy. It used to show like at one point it was like it also showed your fucking location. Like I think it even had like lat long coordinates to like where tweets were sent. I was like, this is crazy. Like, do you remember that? It
Yeah,
was like when Foursquare was like popping, like everyone was like obsessed with like doxing their location.
there at one
Yeah.
point social media app that people were using that was literally just share your real-time location. It was called like Buzz.
Well, that exists. That's a built-in feature of iOS where you can like share your location with friends and such.
Here's my assassinate. I can't believe Elon called them assassination coordinates. That's so fucking funny.
The data is still there. It's just not in the UI. The API is a Periscope API, and I ended up building a dashboard just so I can view it and see whose spaces were real or botted or whatever. But yeah, you don't need a Twitter account to listen to a space. It's anybody can listen to a space from any device as long as it has internet connectivity, which is fascinating. Everybody gets a token, even if that token doesn't have a user credential associated to it, and you can listen in to anything and record anything. It's pretty fascinating.
I think there's a website that like records all the transcripts from spaces and like catalogs it. Like it's not even like listening. You can't see it in your space, but you can go and like look up any Twitter space and it'll tell you what was said in it. So you can like control F a conversation, which is pretty scary.
So when is Video Spaces coming, H? You've seen the APIs. Are they going to launch Video Spaces?
I mean, so the API that runs Spaces today is Periscope, which is video first. So what they've done is they've removed, to compete with Clubhouse, they removed the video layer and gave us an audio first experience. The video's there. They just turned it's disabled. That's it.
That's so silly. Clubhouse is not even a real thing. No one is using Clubhouse. There's no need to compete with that.
Is it still out? Maybe we should take the pod to Clubhouse actually instead of Twitch. There could be a resurgence. Maybe they'll pay us for it. It could be like a Polygon type situation.
I was legitimately going to ask you. I think we should reach out to Polygon and see if they're interested in like the project that we're building right now. I feel like they would give us money.
Yeah, we got to get in on these Polygon moves. I mean, so you don't think they're going to bring the video back, H?
I mean, it's there. If you use the the Twitter app the right way, you can live video stream. You can even do it with software like OBS. You can do multicast. You can use OBS and stream to YouTube and Facebook or Instagram and Twitter all at the same time. I don't know if you have an audience to do that, but the functionality is there for sure.
Interesting. And what do you think about H, the video? If you want to do video, what about just moving this activity, our podcast, and you'll have to be a repeat guest next year. H Wonder, by the way, everyone, an early guest on a very important and prescient podcast episode about the question of whether you should be worried about buying an unregistered security, or whether all these things are just securities, or whether they're amazing art projects. So go watch that episode. You can find the link in my profile. But next time you come on the pod, H, you think we're considering switching to Twitch, basically, and becoming, okay, we are a video thing now, and Twitter Spaces, it's over.
I don't know why I'm a fan of the Joe Budden podcast. I actually do not know. I don't like Joe Button, but I like the format, and I think the subject matter is more relatable to me in my age and just what I'm into. Either way, what he does is he streams the audio to SoundCloud. They used to stream it to Spotify back when they had that deal, but the audio goes to SoundCloud, and then the video format goes to the YouTube channel, and then they have a Patreon behind it that allows different roles and functionality or whatever. So I think if you think about where people consume things and then think about the diversity of what tools people use, I think you can really deploy anywhere. I think it could be anywhere. I think perhaps you might want to watch it live on Twitch, but why alienate the indexing that's going to surface from YouTube? People are going to find it on YouTube because they pay. I pay for a premium YouTube. I want to click and see something cool with no ads.
So is it possible to take the Twitch live stream and put that into Twitter Spaces also live?
Yeah.
Go research OBS. That's the best software for that.
Yeah, I mean, I've done a lot of that shit, but we were talking earlier about like specifically the pitfalls of this fucking Twitter Spaces app, and like, yeah, I think it all goes away if you just migrate to any other streaming software. But like, I have this little device I bought that works with a plethora of apps in my phone, even the native ones, such as the video recording where I can use a lightning cable and get an audio signal in and out of the phone. But then when I try to use it with this app, Twitter Space, I can't get my fucking audio mic to work. And so there's just a lot of problems specifically with Twitter Spaces. But yet, like, we're using it. But I think if we collectively like just migrate outside of it, like, yeah, OBS is amazingly powerful software. You can literally like put in 100 different points, including screen recording a browser window, and then you can have that as a source, and then mix it with a VJ software, and mix it with siphoning a whole nother computer. You could fucking look for a port, an open port in your network, and siphon from a whole nother computer. I've done a lot of streaming stuff actually in my life, and I have a lot of experience with OBS and other things. You get a little Black Magic device with Thunderbolt connectivity for $150. You can use your any camera that has a HDMI output or SDI output, or get a little converter to go and use an old you could fucking use an old Super 8 camera, go out of the analog outs, and then get an analog to digital converter, go into HDMI, and use that as a webcam. Like, you can just go fucking nuts really quickly, and it's a lot of fun. Once you just get like OBS and a few pieces of input gear.
Yeah, I will just say from a Zoomer perspective, okay, I think this is one of the things that I offer here. From a Zoomer perspective, like, doing video is always better. Like, people my age are not consuming audio content. They are watching YouTube, like the vast majority.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay. Then you're going to say, like, I'm 12.
No, I'm like the oldest person who can say that they're Gen Z, but I'm not a millennial. Anyway.
Well, I'll tell you this, I'm 42 years old, and Ryder, it's nice to see you again. But y'all, I'm 42, and I love just listening. I love imagining, using my imagination, imagining what Ryder Rips looks like in real life. In my head, 6'3", 6'4", 194 pounds, built like a quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. You know what I mean? He's a handsome guy. He's got a clean cut, fresh shave. He's got a woman at his arm, sitting there making him lasagna right now.
You should write about this on, have you heard of fanfic.net?
Well, Dovetail, actually, I am a writer, and if you don't know about me, almost 3 months ago now, I come out of the closet to my family, everyone. my mom, my sister, everyone at work, everyone online, and I come out of the closet as a bull. And if you're not familiar with the BCU or the Bull Cuck Unicorn community, Google it, look it up. But basically, I've been keeping a diary of all my bulling, and I turned that diary into a book, and now I'm releasing that book on the blockchain.
That's fantastic. I'm excited to read it.
Yeah. Thank you, Bill. We got to wrap it up here. Almost 7. So our 2-hour podcast. Let me start wrapping things up.
Thank you all. This has been the Year in Review podcast. We reviewed the entire year. You can listen to it later. We're not reviewing anything as part of this podcast in it, or even later, we're not going to review this. I think it's fitting that we close with some of the great people who I met this year. And Ryder I knew before this year, but really re-met him this year and got to work on some stuff with him. And I really want to say thank you to everyone who let me leech off of your creativity and memes. And maybe I gave you some memes or some jokes. And thank you to my co-hosts, especially as well. 2023 is going to be a weird year since it's all going to be video oriented, but I'm confident that we're going to get the OBS setup right. So thank you all very much. Check it out. We're Capsule 21. The podcast
Before we go,
is my profile.
I need to shout out Yoke, Joel Rivera, Gato, Energy, Benbit, Coffee, Espresso, Cyberfunks, Machine. I need to shout out all of these people: H Wonder, Ryder Ribs, Piv, and Middlemarch. All of these people who come to our Twitter spaces most often. Mad Yak, if you're listening to this on Spotify, Mad Yak is a huge person in our community. Everyone who's in our group chat, thank you all so much. It's really like a blessing to even have like a small group of people who tune into these and enjoy coming through. And we see you in the audience, even if you're not speaking, and I appreciate it a lot. So my heart goes to you. Big round of applause for you guys. Thanks again.
Hell yeah. For the worst year of all time, it was pretty good. I gotta say, because of you all. Capsule 21 out.